Continuing with our Carrie ripoff films, the next one I wanted to take a look at is 1977's The Spell. This is also a TV film, and this one is actually focusing around a young girl named Rita. She's an overweight teenager constantly being picked on for being obese, and actually she's really not that big, and even by today's standards, which is actually saying a lot because people really like McDonald's now, but she's actually just filled out. She's not some scrawny toothpick, so I really don't know why they're calling her chubby and all of this other bad stuff. The deal here is that she not only has to deal with people picking on her at school, but her father's very strict, very overbearing, very hard on her, and on several occasions he's always commenting, "Do you really need a second helping?" And that really doesn't help the way she's feeling, especially the fact that she's an adolescent, and your body goes through all these crazy changes as it is. Dealing with people dumping on you for something as trivial as your weight just really doesn't help the matters. Including her sister Christina, who is played by a very young Helen Hunt. She's just a very bratty sister, but she actually knows Rita's secret. She eventually does tell the parents when encouraged to, but she's actually afraid of her sister Rita. In this case, Rita, as we later discover, has actually been mentoring with the school's coach, who happens to be an occult woman. She's trying to form a coven, if you will, and she's sort of teaching Rita how to use her abilities. Once again, in this case, Rita's mother is also a witch, so it's inherited, but she mostly just relies on chants and rituals rather to enact her will rather than just going full force with the mind. So I don't know, I guess maybe it's just the fact that she was just never prepared or instructed on how to do this, that she just sort of fumbles out a bit. And I really like the way the character changes. She starts as this very quiet, mousy girl, and towards the middle of the film she's just a regular rebellious teenager, same as anyone would expect. She also tells her mother that she's the only one she actually loves, and we later do discover that Rita will stop at nothing when it comes to getting what she wants, whether it's getting her father and Brady's sister out of the way just so that she can live in peace with her mother. She's also become somewhat isolated or hermit-ish. She doesn't want to be around people. She just pretty much doesn't want anybody messing with her, which is understandable considering everything that she's been through. Her mother has always tried to include her in the family, even on an occasion where Rita was supposed to cook dinner and pretty much just snuck out into the woods and did whatever she wanted. The younger sister, Christina, stays home and tries to cook a pizza, which is disastrous, and they head out to a restaurant for dinner. The father's punishment refuses to take Rita, even though the mother would love to take her. Rita takes advantage of this, as one of the father's co-workers happens to be at the restaurant. He admits to being stoned, and in the parking lot while the family is leaving, actually tries to run him down. So obviously that was not his own will to do that, but rather a manipulation. The Spell seems to be more an emotionally centered film. You definitely have a lot of strong family dynamic, and as I've said, the mother really tries to pull Rita out of her shell, include her with the family, and she's obviously a very loving parent. She often says, yes, her daughter's difficult, but she's hers. She loves her. So this is definitely a mother who's protective, that will do for her daughter rather than some psychotic parent that torments their kid. Unfortunately, the father happens to be the polar opposite, where even if he means well, he just always happens to screw the pooch. So it obviously isn't long before Rita does decide to eliminate the other two family members. Rita's mother, who decides to stay in the home and just sort of pushes her husband and daughter out the door just to go watch a movie or something so she can have time with her daughter, tells Rita that she is not going to continue manipulating people. She is not going to get her way. And Rita's actually upset by this point because the father's trying to send her away to boarding school because everyone's pretty much just had it with her. So in this ending sequence, we also have somewhat of a witch showdown where the mother's just sort of combating her daughter. She eventually does overpower her, and the girl just falls down crying. She obviously doesn't want to go far away, and she doesn't want to leave the only person that she actually cares about. Rather than standing over her and lecturing or or scolding her, the mother actually just embraces her and assures her that everything's going to be okay. So this is the sort of ending that a film like this, I feel, should have, rather than just, killing the outsider or just continuing to put them in their place. So I think it's a really great film, really great ending. And you're probably going to laugh at me for saying this, but I can definitely see this as a remade film, on ABC Family or something. It really does have a very strong family connection, family dynamic. So this one also does have somewhat of a slow build, but Rita gradually just becomes more aggressive and pretty creepy. There's a scene where her sister Christina does confess to the mother what has been going on, and as soon as the mother walks out, the clock radio starts acting a bit weird, and when the girl looks up, she realizes that Rita is sitting in the chair, just giving her somewhat of a sinister smile. So I don't know, it just makes you wonder, how did Rita get in there? Obviously she was in her own room, but yeah, it's a really great film. I would definitely recommend taking a look, and I will talk to you later.